I know that you probably can write 30,000 books on shadow work, on all the things that you've learned in your life, on all the wisdom that you've accumulated. I know that you know every trick in the book. When you see a video on TikTok, you're like, yeah, I already knew that. When you see a YouTube video, yeah, I already knew that. So the thing here is you don't have money blocks because you're aware of everything that's happening. You don't have a problem processing your trauma because you've done that work. You've done the shadow work. You're done with that. You don't have a problem with being seen because you've really begun to understand that, look, you're just gonna be the rainbow fairy and everyone's just gonna look at you anyway, so why not? And look, put a fairy emoji in the comments if you're listening to this and this is resonating with you. So you don't have all these problems that you see a lot of people are still dealing with. That's not an issue for you anymore. But still, every single time that you try to get to the next level, every single time that you try to hit a higher income goal, or every single time that you try to manifest something really big that you know already has your name on it, and again, you could write a whole book on manifestation. That's not the issue here. You know everything. But every single time you try to go for it, say the mark is here, you hit right here. You hit just enough to see the progress, but you never hit above the mark. You never set a new record. It seems like even though you have all this information and you know all this, no matter what you do, nothing pushes you into that next arena, into that next level, to that next area of your life that you know already has your name on it. You've been writing about it for years. I know you could probably show me the journals right now. What's really happening here? Now, what you have been doing is settling and calling it gratitude. You have been saying, oh, I'm so grateful. Well, maybe if I just stay in this grateful space and maybe if I just appreciate what I have right now, then maybe me being high vibe all the time, that's going to shift me into a space of more than enough. And so then everything will line up and then I'll be finally rewarded for my efforts. And then you get burned out. And then you wonder why you start to have this resentful relationship with the universe. Because of new age spirituality, you've eaten so much content that says be in a high vibe, be grateful, be this, be that you programmed yourself to only expect results when you're in a manic state. When you're literally, go, I'm so good, everything is good. Your baseline, who you know yourself to be and what you know you deserve. You programmed yourself to only receive when you're outdoing or outperforming. And so then you wonder why you can't hit these spaces. You wonder why you can't hit these new levels. It's because you've literally programmed yourself to overdo, to overwork. And even when you're overdoing and overworking, you still programmed yourself to only assume that you'll get just enough. I want to tell you that there's nothing more that you need to learn. There's nothing more that you need to do. There's nothing else you need to put on your to-do list. You don't need to do 10,000 rounds of fire breath or journaling for 10 days and 10 nights and then fasting for 50. No, the work ends here. Because what I'm about to tell you is going to get to the block beneath the block. It's going to get to what has been beneath all of the struggle, all of this fight, all this tension that's really happening, and what's really creating the resentment between you and your reality. Because again, you've been trying to say you're grateful, but in reality, you really do resent the place that you're in because you know you deserve more. You know you want more and you know you deserve more and you know your desire is an oracle itself. So what's really stopping you here? What's stopping you is your old identity. What's stopping you is the identity of the one that's never chosen. What's stopping you is the identity of the one that never is picked, that never gets more than enough, that never has more than enough to share. What's stopping you is that identity of someone who thinks that they still have to beg for just enough. See, what's been happening is you have internalized from ages 0 to probably about 17, honestly. You've internalized every single moment that you were given something, whether that's from your family, your parents, your caregivers, your teachers, school, whatever. You've internalized all of this information. What do I mean by this? Every single time you do something and you receive something in return, your brain inputs new data and new information. Your brain says, ooh, okay, well, when I'm good, this is a good thing that happens, or when I'm bad, this is the bad thing that happens. And so the identity begins to be formed not just from who we know ourselves to be, but also how other people respond to us. And so every single time that you are praised for people pleasing, or every single time that you are praised for being humble, or every single time that you are praised for putting your needs at the last of the line, every single time that you are praised for being small, your nervous system has coded that as safe. So much to a point where overflow feels unsafe. Overflow feels like a threat. Overflow feels like exposure. It feels like it's too much to even handle. It feels like if I had it, something bad would happen, and I do not want to keep cleaning up the mess of bad things happening. And I'm not just gonna talk about this today. I'm gonna guide you through a nervous system reprogramming exercise. It's gonna help you move through this, and don't worry, we're gonna talk all about that in a second, but I need to finish this because I know that someone needs to hear this. This old identity that's been crafted from every single moment that you've accepted less. This old identity that's told you that accepting less is safe. This is what's stopping you from being able to hit above the mark. This is what's stopping you from being able to receive more than enough. And I need you to be honest with me here, because again, I know you don't have money blocks. I know you don't have issues with receiving. The issue is something deeper. Who you know yourself to be and who your body knows you to be are two different things. Because consciously your mind knows all the information, but your nervous system has a completely different identity. And as long as these two things are fighting each other, you're gonna constantly feel internal tension, and you'll constantly receive mixed results from your external environment. But you begin to get back on board by doing two things. I wanna work with the mind, and then I'm gonna go into the body. One of the easiest ways to release resistance to what you want and what you've been calling in is to not just work with the present, but to work with the past, present, and future. What do I mean by this? Well, one of the reasons why you keep hitting a wall is because your nervous system says, well, we've never had more than enough, so why would it be safe? Or overflow is unsafe, or bad things happen when I'm given more than I need. All these different things come up in your nervous system and in your body. And so we try to fight that by working with the present. We try to fight that by saying, no, I'm a millionaire now. I'm a millionaire now. I'm a millionaire now. I'm so grateful to be a millionaire. I'm so grateful to be a millionaire. But there's still resistance because your mind is looking for evidence. And as long as you have all those memories from the past, it's going to switch back and go back through and look at all those memories and say, no, that's not true. No, when we did feel good, it was bad. It was unsafe. Overflow was bad. And so what we do is we try to force ourselves to feel something that is not our reality in the present in order to try to force it to come in the future. Whole time our past is pushing us back into that old identity. But the way that we can begin to bypass this is by affirming past, present, and future as the desire is already here, there, and will always be there. The identity of someone who's never struggled with money is very different from the person who spontaneously made $10,000 overnight. And what do I mean by this? We see so many money affirmation videos saying, oh, money finds me everywhere. Money's about to find me. In 24 hours, money finds. It's always in the future. And we keep it in the future because it's easier to conceptualize it happening in the future than to accept that it can be here now. And as long as it's in the future, we reach and it feels so good to keep reaching because it means it'll always be out of our grasp. And as long as it's out of our grasp, we'll be safe. But instead, when we affirm that something has always been in the past, in the present, and in the future, we begin to rewire the subconscious. If we affirm that something has always happened, then our mind will try to look for evidence of that fact. Rather than if we try to affirm if something is happening in the moment, but we have no evidence of it, our mind will continue to fight us. And so if we say, this has always happened, I've always had money, your mind literally right now, if you say that to yourself, say it out loud, I've always had money. Just as an example, right? I've always had money, I've always had money. Automatically, I know for me, my mind is thinking about, oh, remember that when I got that random 5K check, or remember when this, or remember when that, right? You've always had money. And so we hack the brain system by affirming something that we want now, affirm it as already has happened in the past. past, our brain automatically starts to look for evidence. We begin to dissolve resistance. Bring this a little bit further. You're the type of person that's always had money. Assume the identity of someone who's always had it, not just who's receiving or coming into it now. You move a little differently. We begin to look at everything from the past and we see it differently now. So again, when we want to hack the nervous system, we can start by hacking our concept of time. Instead of trying to affirm something in the present moment, we can anchor in our nervous system that it already happened. It's already in the past. And then our brain will automatically start to look for evidence of it. And that'll cement into the nervous system that this has already happened. Our brain doesn't know the difference between visualization and something that's actually happened, the memory of it. The second thing, I want you to get really comfortable with me, and we're going to do a very easy nervous system regulation reprogramming exercise. Take a deep breath in. Shoulders up. Release. Maybe even shake out your shoulders a little bit. Shake out your arms a little bit. Get comfortable for me. As we shaking and moving and just getting comfortable, I want you to notice where your breath is stopping in your body, and I want you to send it a little bit deeper. Maybe sending it to the bottom of the stomach. Now we're gonna do one of my favorite nervous system exercises. This is called the havening touch. And it's very, very simple, very, very easy. You can do it literally anywhere, but we're gonna start to cement the past, present, and future affirmations in the present moment. Now, I love this havening touch because it actually has been scientifically shown to release oxytocin in the body, these feel-good chemicals, oxytocin and serotonin in the body. Now, it's gonna be through the havening touch, and it's gonna be through affirming this new affirmation that we begin to soothe our nervous system and allow it to feel safe with our desire. Allow it to feel safe with this new identity that we're calling in and that we're becoming right now. Actually, not even calling in, we're becoming it right now. And I'm gonna continue to talk about everything as we do this exercise, so don't click out yet, babe. We're almost there. Take a deep breath in while rubbing your hands together. Release. Havening touch is very simple. Lightly touch your fingers on your palms, on your arms, on your face. Lightly touching. And this touch stimulating the C-tactile nerve afferent fibers helps to release oxytocin, promotes calm, and regulates the nervous system. And it is so simple. Now, as we do this, I want you to say your desire out loud. Now say it in the present moment out loud. As in I am, or it is here. Deep breaths in and out as we do this. And now say your desire, but this time when you say it out loud, say, I've always had whatever your desire is. Say it 3 times. I've always had. And then notice what comes up in your mind. What memories come up for you? I've always had. One more time. I've always had. And now repeat after me. I'm the type of person who's always had. Say it out loud. I'm the type of person who's always had. The type of person who's always had. Maybe going across the chest, whatever feels comfortable, just lightly touching, using this havening touch. I'm the type of person who's always had. So we don't want to keep our desire in the future. And you may have kept your desire in the future because you valued waiting more than receiving. And if you were always waiting, then you can prolong actually feeling worthy. And I know so many of us think that, well, when I feel worthy, I'm working on worthiness. I'm working on worthiness. You may think that you are, yes. But the fact of the matter here, there's no working on worthiness. There's only recognizing the worth that's already there. And so there's nothing that you need to work on to realize what's always been. And so what that also means is that to receive your desire, there's nothing that you need to work on. There's only recognition of what has always been there. If we know we exist in infinite parallel realities, then yes, it's true that we have had it. And so the easiest way to begin to shift is to affirm that it's already there. Not only it's already there, but that it's always been there. Last year it was there. 3 years ago it was there. Just like how it's here now. That's how we begin to de-pedestalize the waiting period. Because the more that we pedestalize the waiting period, the more that we can put off actually receiving. Because receiving feels uncomfortable. You don't have any money blocks. You don't have any love blocks. You don't have any of those blocks, babe, because you've done the work. What needs to happen here is instead a nervous system alignment with who you know you are now. Doing this work, doing this nervous system alignment work will help change so much. Because all of those things that you've already desired, they're literally in line, waiting to burst through the room in overflow. But your fear of actually receiving it is pushing it away. Maybe you think that there's going to be more responsibility or exposure or something bad's going to happen. But use this moment now to say that it's already happened and it's chill. It's normal. I'm not gonna scream or jump up and down or cry tears of joy because it already happened. It's normal. It's part of my everyday. It just is. Deep breath in. Release. Say your desire out loud again. One more time. Go ahead. End off with is normal. My desire of is normal. And then say it in the present tense. Having is normal. Deep breath in. Release your hands down. The way to burst through this feeling, this experience of never having more than enough, is to hack your present, past, and future. By affirming that it's already happened in the past, that it's always happening in the future, and that it's just a normal occurrence right now. Collapsing the old identity means no longer valuing it. Collapsing the old identity means no longer holding on to it out of fear. Collapsing the old identity means being aware when it comes up every single time, and then reminding yourself of the identity that you've already shifted into, thing of the past. I trust that this exercise of the Havening Touched maybe calmed or centered you today. And if you want 55 days of nervous system reprogramming, one new exercise every single day, yes, it is already recorded. Yes, it is self-paced. You can change your life before the new year begins by starting now. Join us in devotion. I'll see you there.